Most young kids like seeing police officers because it makes them feel safe. Every day, one officer sees that same girl waving to him through the window. Sebastian got used to this, so when it didn't happen one day, he worried that something might have gone wrong. That causes him to break every rule in his book to check it out and learn about the young girl. He was finally able to get into her room and find the answers to his questions. However, he wasn't sure he wanted them anymore. What could have possibly happened to the young girl? Once Sebastian had the door slammed in his face, he realized something wasn't right. He didn't care about his good standing with the police department. Therefore, he goes out on a limb, calling for backup to help him search the house. Minutes after that, a total of 11 police officers forced their way into the house and put the man who opened the door into handcuffs. Sebastian runs upstairs to the room where the girl waved from because he has to know what happened to her. When he opened the door, he barely believed what he saw. He now understands why she didn't wave that day. What happened to this girl? Why was Sebastian sure that something wasn't right and ended up correct about it all? Sebastian had been on the police force for 2 decades and was dedicated to his job, earning the respect of others. Most call him a hero because of his dangerous assignments. However, he was older now. Still, the danger could not be done with him, and he had to get out there once more. He was proud to be a police officer. Sebastian now had a wife and 2 children, so he left behind the dangerous assignments to keep his children from growing up without a dad. However, you sometimes have to put your life on the line as a cop. Sebastian isn't a street cop anymore and works behind the desk. However, he sometimes went on rides with rookies to teach them some things. Along the route they used, he knew most of the people, and some grew to be special to him. Some people on the route talked to him, and others acknowledged his presence. Many of them were shop owners and homeowners, and they were all kind. They liked the police to patrol to make them feel safe, and Sebastian was friendly. On the corner was a large house, and Sebastian wasn't sure who the owners were. No one was outside, so he figured it was abandoned. However, he noticed a young girl in the window of the 2nd floor, and she always waved at him. It was always the same, and he got used to it. Sebastian hoped to meet her one day. They always waved to each other, and his curiosity couldn't be contained. Maybe she might come outside so that he could talk to her and her parents. That never happened, though. Sebastian became curious after a day of driving around with the rookie and waving at the girl. He did what all good cops do, and investigated the home and situation. However, he had no idea what he found would change his life completely. He started in the police database because it had answers to most things in town. There, he looked up the owners, neighbors, history, and home. Since he worked behind a desk, it was easy for him to do all that in between other work. After searching the database, Sebastian learned that the house was bought 50 years ago, but the owner died 25 years ago, leaving the home to a son. He looked up the son but found no useful information. Was that the son's daughter he saw or someone else? He ended up checking the man once more but got the same information. A quick internet search said that he'd never had problems with the law, had no social media presence, and hadn't made government requests. This guy was off the grid. The internet couldn't tell Sebastian if the son had a daughter or any child at all. Plus, the man hadn't registered a daughter for school or anything. Therefore, she was either his or something bad might be happening. Sebastian couldn't give up because he wanted answers. He was curious and concerned at this stage. If the girl wasn't in school, that was a criminal offense, and she might not even be his biological child. There were many options that could lead to danger. Unfortunately, he didn't know where to search next. There was no probable cause to go into the house or ask any questions. Therefore, he felt that if the girl kept waving, she was okay. He continued going on rides and waving, but then something unexpected happened. It was a day like all the others, and Sebastian took the rookie route. Overall, his rookie was quite nervous, so Sebastian tried to keep him cool and calm. After all, this was a practice drive, and nothing usually happened here. Sebastian greeted the familiar faces he saw from the window. Most people were out and about, putting him in a great mood. That changed when they passed the large corner house because Sebastian noticed something amiss. He scanned the house for the window and expected to see the young girl, though she wasn't there. No one was around, and that hadn't happened before. She was always there, without fail, every day. Something felt wrong and he had to figure it out. Immediately, he saw a car in the driveway, so it was likely for someone to be home. The girl wasn't old enough to drive, so she was inside. Should he ring the doorbell? Why was he so concerned with her? Still, he felt something wasn't right. He demanded that the rookie stop the car and wait while he checked the house out. He didn't tell the rookie anything but left the vehicle. This was against protocol, and he realized he'd have some explaining to do, but he required answers now. Sebastian rang the doorbell when he got to the door. No one answered, and he tried knocking hard. Finally it opened, but it all felt wrong. He was more than suspicious, and he had a right to be. The cop had found pictures of the supposed owner of the house, but the man who opened the door didn't look like him. He wore a suit and glared at Sebastian. He was quite angry, but Sebastian needed answers to see if the girl was okay. Sebastian didn't know what to do because there was no warrant, and he couldn't convince the man to let him in. Plus, his superiors might not listen without proof. He knew he had to act quickly, so he followed his heart, even if it cost him his job. His mind was made up before he got back to the car. He ended up calling for backup from those he trusted in the force. It couldn't be an official call, but he knew his officer friends were there for support. He was getting into that house. Sebastian and the rookie parked on the side street to meet the others. They didn't want to cause a scene or raise suspicion. He worried that he might jeopardize the rookie's new career or set a bad example, but the young officer shocked him with his response. The rookie wanted to be part of the plan because he trusted Sebastian's instincts. Therefore, he was the lookout and made sure no one left while Sebastian explained everything to the officers. They were assembled and ready to storm in within 15 minutes. Some of the officers were hesitant to break the rules and go in without a warrant. Sebastian knew his job and reputation were on the line but swore someone was in trouble. Everyone understood what was expected, but Sebastian feared they had missed something important. Still, there was no turning back now. The first man they saw was the guy in the suit who opened the door earlier. An officer put him in handcuffs and the others spread out. Only one other person was available, and he was also in expensive clothes. However, they didn't see the girl. The officers interrogated the gentlemen about their purpose, and Sebastian raced upstairs to find the girl's room. He knew her window, so it didn't take long. The handle was unlocked, and he pushed the door open slowly. Sebastian went inside and was taken aback by the findings. He had to calm himself down and collect his thoughts. He glanced over his shoulder and knew this was right. It's no wonder this poor girl wasn't there to wave at him. This room was bare with no signs that people had lived there. In fact, there was no dust at all. Sebastian searched everywhere but found the same scenario. The place was emptier than a for-sale home. He was confused and went back downstairs to find more information. When Sebastian got to the ground floor, the men weren't in handcuffs. His friends were now apologizing and looked embarrassed. Sebastian came forward, unsure of how he should feel about everything. One man stepped forward and put his hand in his pockets. Sebastian wondered what was happening. The other officers didn't seem concerned as he pulled something out of the jacket and held it up. Sebastian's face went white as a ghost. This well-dressed man was holding an FBI badge. He knew he was in big trouble, but he had to ask questions about why those men were here. It turned out that the FBI had some questions for Sebastian, too. The FBI agents heard about his reasons for entering the house and wanted to know why he was suspicious. Since he was so willing to trust his gut and possibly hurt his career, they told the truth, saying they weren't here for the girl. They wondered about her dad. The man in question was in the witness protection program. Many people wanted him dead, so he rarely left the house. That applied to his daughter, and she often watched the neighbors from the windows, but things had changed. When the FBI checked on him, they noticed the girl staring out the window. It was a small detail, but the man's associate had also been in the area. If they had seen the young girl, it could blow their cover, so the FBI had to take action. They relocated the father and daughter to a new location. Then, the FBI sent a team to make sure nothing was left behind, which is why they were there. Sebastian was stunned and realized he might never know certain things about the girl. Though he never learned why the man was in the program, Sebastian knew it had to be something bad. The FBI agents didn't report the incident, but Sebastian and the other police officers had to remain quiet about what they learned.